Okay. Well, first off, I want to give all the glory to God just for this journey with this very special team. Win or lose tonight, I just want to make that very clear because I'm not sitting here today without him. So when I say special team, I mean it's an understatement, and I just told him that's probably the hardest locker room speech, if you want to call it that I've ever given. Been extremely numb for 2 years, to be quite honest, and I told him that too, but they brought out so much emotion in a good way with me. I told him I was driving home after the Columbus State game the other night, and just full of joy. And it wasn't, it was the win, but it was them, and it was their fight and how they came back and just took that game. I told them all the former players from my first team texted me. Some of them were at the game all the way through, the years we're in the stands, and that to me means the world. But getting back, if you want me to get to the game and give an opening statement about the game, my hat's off to Coker. I think every team that once the season got rolling figured out, hey, if we're going to beat North Georgia, we better stop the three-point line, and they did. We hit some early, and we knew at halftime that if we had it, we were going to have to take it. Like, we couldn't pass it up. We passed it up, we weren't going to get another good look in that possession. And it ends up, I'm not sure we hit one. I'm not even sure how many we took the second half, but we certainly, I don't remember, maybe hitting one, if that. And that was a big key. I mean, we put up a lot of points from the three-point line, and we got 4 people on the court most of the time that are going to hit one at a high clip. So I think that was a big key to the game, and I also think they're an extremely physical and really good rebounding team. And that was, the game was called like the game was called, and they let things go both ways, and it really came out into their favor tonight. So I tip my hat. I think they're going to do great out at the Elite Eight and represent the Southeast region very well.
Can you just talk about this group and just how together they were
Yeah.
this whole year?
I would love to talk about this group, Clark. Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's I get choked up, as you can see, and I even told them in the locker room, so I'm not a very emotional person, but they bring this out because it's a joy to coach them. They're tough. They play for each other, which I know that's kind of a cliche, but I think people think culture is one thing, and it's real easy to talk about your culture and say, oh, y'all do things a certain way, but they did things a certain way. Like, they could play with a chip on their shoulder, but they played for each other, and that was truly amazing because I don't think every team can ever say that. They were selfless, and you saw how many people we could put on the floor that could score the ball, and yet we were probably – I never looked at it, but I feel like we had to have been top 10 in the nation in assists somewhere. We were putting up 19 or 20 a game, and every time I looked at it, we were up there in assists, and that just says everything about this group. If I went down the line, I could give you something really special about each one. I know we don't have all night for that. I know they're heartbroken. I know they never even thought for 1 second that we would lose, and not from an arrogant standpoint, from just we're going to do this standpoint. It had nothing to do with Coker or any opponent that was going to show up tonight. It was just how they went about their business every day. Pros. They just, handled their classes, and this is what our routine is. That's culture to me. You handle your business. You take care of your teammates. When you're away from everything, the program is extremely important, and so I could talk for 5 hours on this special group. I mean, I don't know that we won. Would we win 31 games? Maybe there was another group that won 30. I can't remember our wins, but it just kept going, and they weren't going to let anything get in their way, and it's just it's hard. It's like I kept looking up at the clock in the locker room, and I told them, I was like, I keep looking up at it because I want to keep sending y'all back out, and I want to keep coaching you. And it's kind of like right now, as soon as this press conference ends, I don't get to coach them anymore. So.
How gratifying is it when you they're going to be remembered by?
Yeah, they'll definitely be remembered. I think sometimes people look at success and think it's easy. You win that many games, you're like, well, you must have just blown people out, and it was never like that. It was hard every single game. It didn't matter who the opponent was, anywhere. On the road, here, they went, where did we go, 11-0 on the road, which was incredible. We've never done that. That was history. You don't just do that. I'm driving on the bus down there, and I'm like, coming back joyful and joyous every time. It's very, I think when they wake up tomorrow, they're going to be sad, but they're also not going to have one regret whatsoever. I think I put on the board before the game, I put the word gratitude on the board, and I erased it, and I did something different. But I told them just in the locker room right there, I said, I put the word gratitude, and I thought you guys were going to make fun of me because it's just such a cliche word. But I took it off, and then I told them about it because my point with gratitude was me to them, like how grateful I was to coach them. And then I wanted them also to think about like just what the administration and Dr. Shannon and Mary Robb did for us over this whole tournament. Now, tonight was obviously incredible because the students were back and they were really into it, but just gratitude to North Georgia and Lee and everybody, all you guys, Brendan, all you guys have just put this awesome regional on for us. You did it so professionally for everybody. So I think every team that came in here had an amazing experience, that's really cool that you guys did that. But I know our group felt like professionals. They felt like they were, they were just treated so well, and they'll never forget it. They'll never forget it, and I won't either. And I'm so appreciative to you guys, so appreciative to the community, just for making that such a special experience for them. I wish we could have pulled it out tonight because I've never been to Pittsburgh. I don't know what it's like. I think it would have been really cool. But the main thing is I wanted to see what they could do because we didn't know about the other teams that were out there too much. We've tracked them, but we were like, we really loved our team and we really loved our chances, and we just wanted to have a shot. Most of all, we wanted to keep playing. Thank you.
Buffy, when you look at this season, and it's one of the best seasons in program history, obviously you did deep for this tournament this year, but everything you guys have accomplished, what are the moments that you'll remember from this year going forward?
Yeah. Believe it or not, I remember the two losses very well. Obviously, this third one will punch me in the gut quite a bit later, too. I remember those because of the way the team responded. Each time it happened, they just took off and had these streaks. I don't know what this streak was like, 13, 14, 12. I don't know what it was, but it was just another streak. But they were a team that was like, all right, as soon as those losses happened, we were like, okay, this is what happened. And it was just very cut. We knew what happened. And you can't always figure that out right away when your team loses a game. But we were like, we know what happened. They fixed it. We moved on. And we were good, and we learned from it. So I'll remember those. I'll remember the practices, you coming in, Brendan, helping us out. I'll remember those because those are where you get to spend all your time, not just just not being obviously being around each other, but teaching and growing and learning. And they just were a fun group, fun group to be around. So I'll remember that. I already mentioned the 11-0 on the road. I'll remember all those trips, and I'm sure if they were sitting here too, that's what they said. And you can tell everybody that, like, you're going to remember, this is what you're going to remember, the bus rides and all that, because we've talked about that before, and they just look at you like, yeah, right, coach, just want to win this game. But they will. They'll look back, and they'll remember those. Like when the bus broke down coming back from USC Beaufort, I'll remember that. I made them take a picture standing outside on the highway, or not on the highway, but at the truck stop after we had to wait on the guys who were so kind to come pick us up, eat McDonald's and just hanging out. That's what they'll remember. They'll think back and be very proud of the season and what they did and just how they played for each other. And yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.